Hey everyone, and welcome to this visual explainer. Let's just jump right in, shall we? Today, we are looking at a really massive question. Can permanent wisdom exist in a temporary world? I know, it sounds like a heavy topic about the very meaning of existence, but the way our source material breaks it all down is honestly incredibly logical and frankly fascinating. We're going to examine how the text uses basic everyday logic to explore the nature of the entire universe. And to do that, let's start off with a little thought experiment to put this whole grand concept into perspective.
All right, I want you to picture this. Imagine a building being constructed with an absolutely bottomless budget. We are talking about hiring the absolute best, most expert architects in the entire world, pouring years of painstaking effort, raw materials, and cutting edge resources into its design. It is, without a doubt, a grand masterpiece. But here's the catch. It's completely predetermined, right from day one, that this beautiful billion-dollar building is going to be completely demolished after just one single year. Would you do that? Would anyone in their right mind do that? Our source text uses this exact scenario to highlight a really glaring contradiction in how we typically think about effort and purpose.
I mean, the absurdity of this contrast is just obvious, right? On one side, your input, expert architects, a massive budget, years of grueling effort. And on the output side, complete demolition after a year. It's an immense waste. It totally defies our basic human understanding of purpose and logic. Why on earth would you pour so much incredible value into something that is fundamentally temporary? Hold on to that thought. Keep that feeling of illogical waste right in the back of your mind.
Well, what's really fascinating is that our source material takes this exact same logical absurdity and scales it literally all the way up to the entire universe. It introduces this philosophical argument known as the 10th truth. The text suggests that if we look closely at the world around us, we see that exact same level of expert architecture and immense effort that we just talked about with our hypothetical building. But if the world is strictly temporary, aren't we looking at the exact same illogical demolition scenario we just agreed was completely absurd?
So to really wrap our heads around this 10th truth, we need to look at what the text claims is clearly visible on our temporary world stage. And this perfectly illustrates the input side of our cosmic equation. According to the source, when we just look at the universe, we see the meticulous design of a creator. We see clear wisdom in how ecosystems perfectly balance themselves out. We see distinct care in the intricate, microscopic details of everyday life. We see a powerful justice and an expansive mercy woven into the very fabric of existence. The text argues that these attributes are undeniable, incredibly high-value inputs when you take the time to look at the world carefully.
And this leads to a pretty heavy, challenging question posed by the 10th truth. It asks, if a creator is showing such clear wisdom and distinct care, wouldn't a purely temporary existence make all of those magnificent traces completely meaningless? The text is posing a serious logical problem here. If there's so much profound wisdom and care invested into this world, having an ultimate end with zero continuation would be exactly like tearing down that billion-dollar masterpiece building. It just doesn't add up. You see, the source describes our current world as this transient, temporary testing ground. But because of those profound attributes we just discussed, the incredible wisdom, the detailed care, reason dictates there absolutely must be a permanent abode. Without an everlasting station, the temporary first half completely loses its rational foundation. The immense effort we observe in the universe demands a lasting result in order to actually mean something.
So bringing it all together, we hit the core synthesis of the argument. The effort-result balance. A deeply meticulous, profoundly complex design simply cannot exist merely for a fleeting stage. When the immense effort visible in the universe is totally disproportionate to a temporary result, it breaks fundamental logic. The source uses this massive imbalance to argue philosophically that reason itself dictates the necessity of a permanent existence beyond this temporary one. Now, to support this philosophical reasoning, the source material turns to theological texts for confirmation. For instance, it cites Surah Sa'd from the Quran, which states, "We did not create the heaven and the earth and that between them aimlessly." In the context of our explainer today, this serves as a textual anchor for the idea that the universe, with all its intricate design and obvious, undeniable care, was simply not created without a lasting aim or a permanent purpose. As we wrap up this explainer, I want to bring this whole grand cosmic argument right back down to you. Think about your own life. Have you ever felt that nagging sense that something is missing when the effort you've spent on a project is completely disproportionate to the outcome? The source materials suggest that this exact instinct, this internal human demand for an effort-result balance, is actually woven into how we are meant to perceive the entire universe.
So does the immense, beautiful effort visible in our temporary world inherently promise a permanent one? I will leave you to ponder that. Thanks for joining me.